I didn't touch you. Shut the up. Give me my keys.
Just give her.
Get the out of my.
If there's one thing we've learned from the internet, it's that cameras don't lie, which makes it pretty awkward when someone treats valet workers like trash and then acts shocked when the internet rolls the footage. So, what really happened? On January 28th, 2025, this lady right here was asked to pay for her valet, but she had forgotten to get her ticket validated. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Despite saying she's rich and looking down on the workers, she wasn't particularly happy about spending $50. A measly $50, I might add, since she claims to be so rich. And since she didn't want to pay, well, this happened.
Where did you say it again about us getting kicked
You're
out? What else?
got it.
What else?
Just doing good things. You guys rape people.
Yeah.
You guys rape people.
Right?
Take your $50 and suck. Give me my change. I'm rich. You're poor. Difference.
You're poor soul.
Yep. You're poor.
You're poor soul.
Dá a chave dela, deixa a chave dela, deixa eu ver.
Não, joga o carro dela lá na casa do
You
cara.
wanna record me? Shut the f up. I didn't touch you. Shut the f up. Give me my keys.
Just give her.
Get the f out of my.
Whoa.
Yeah, she just cursed them out, throwing racial slurs and referencing one of those infamous uses of the R and K word. Unfortunately for her, a bystander captured everything and uploaded this whole spectacle on Instagram. And let's just say things have spiraled downhill faster than she probably expected. First, thanks to our internet investigators, she was identified as Florence Mirsky, aka MsFloJo, the owner and founder of KOKONUGGZ.com. Here is her official Instagram account. And here is her website, KOKONUGGZ.com. And hey, we've seen enough of these situations to know exactly how this was going to end. The comments were far from great, and her business has been forced to take a halt. I mean, just look at the reviews on Trustpilot. That's what happens when you run a business where you're the face of the brand and decide to act like a Karen. So, of course, like any Karen that gets a taste of their consequences, she pulls out the victim card, explaining what she called her side of the story. I know right now, guys, you may not understand, and I understand how bad it looks. The man that was walking behind me in the video groped me, then tried to flip it on me when I went crazy on him. Unfortunately, I have past trauma and manic episodes that I suffer with every day. That's why I called them racists and murders. I felt violated. Everyone that knows me knows I have a big heart and love for everyone. I come from immigrant parents as well. Mental health issues are real, and I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Broken heart emoji. Now let's take a look at the video following this statement.
Comments. I left my house yesterday in PJs, as you can tell, looking crazy. And when I was walking out of a scrub, the valet guy grabbed my ass, and I should have just punched about my child and not wanting to go to jail. So I lashed out and I called him a whack, and I'm so wrong for that, but I felt so violated. I should have just shut my mouth, called the police, and that's it. So basically, I'm explaining to everybody, I am sorry for what I said. I've been around Mexicans, dated Mexicans my whole life. My parents are immigrants. I am the farthest thing from race possible.
So Florence here, in her side of the story, claims
Firstly, this is not ideal. This girl is not, or this lady is not. It seemed to me like they scripted this action, but to be very sincere, she shouldn't have treated the valet guys like that, despite what she claimed of being. Oh, I'm rich, you're poor. You can be very rich in your finances, or you can have a huge bank account or something in your bank account, but do you have the character? Do you have the good character, the quality character that people can emulate? Because from what I just watched, it's not. Maybe he has something going. She has something going on up there, but you don't have to treat people with indignity just because you're rich and the person is poor. We still, same blood runs in our vein. I mean, same blood runs in our veins. So I don't see any reason why you should treat someone like that. And after the video, she now made another one by herself that she was sorry. Okay, good. But to me, nobody touched her. Maybe she got offended that she was dumb without for not taking the valet ticket to get validated and all of that. However, it didn't seem like they touched her, because somebody like this that had not been touched, she could act like that. What if she got touched? Then she might likely set the whole valet guys on ablaze. That's how I can interpret such character. So wherever you go, make sure you treat people with dignity. Be it valet, be it security guard, anybody. Because we have the right to be dignified at our workplaces.
That the reason she reacted the way she did was because of one of these valet guys sexually assaulting her by grabbing her posterior. This is a very serious claim right here, even though it still doesn't warrant the racial slur she made. But hey, you never really know how someone will react to an assault, right? Well, that might be true if Florence wasn't actually twisting the story to fit her own narrative. I know, very surprising. Here is the juicy part. The bystander who actually recorded and posted this incident on Instagram returned to the valet spot to confirm these claims.
In front of the restaurant, the valet where that occurred, and I asked the valet if they heard about it and what they think happened, and the consensus was that if she actually was assaulted, that there would be footage of it on the cameras.
Right.
That there's other cameras here. If
Just like I said
that were
earlier.
to have been the case. You'd also have to imagine if she was yelling at them and being as really heinous as she was, why wouldn't she have mentioned that she was just assaulted?
You nailed it.
You'd have to imagine she would have mentioned that. Instead, she said racial epithets and slurs. And said that was right and they're all
Whoa.
R words.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a 360-degree satellite view of your home.
I'm not buying it.
Well, I'm not buying that either. Yes, knowing as upset as she was,
I am not buying it as well. Because I mentioned it earlier, if she was touched, she would have set everywhere on fire. But how could you, a daughter of an immigrant, raising racial slurs to an immigrant? So everybody is actually an immigrant. And migrating is in the blood of humans, is in humans' DNA, if I may use that word. Migration. People came from all over to places. So you have to move from here to there, whether for better life or a new beginning. As I am now, I migrated from Nigeria. So that is how it works. But stepping your foot somewhere or gaining ground somewhere does not mean that you should try to, bastardize or, talk down on people. Tomorrow is too close.
she definitely would have mentioned that she was serious at some point during the whole ordeal. On top of that, this person's camera suggestion was the final piece that completed the puzzle.
That's
so
right.
now we can finally find out whether the valet guy actually or if she's just making it all up. At this point, Florence is probably thinking about those cameras too, so she decided to head back to the valet spot and apologize.
Made a with my mouth. I'm the farthest thing from race. Like, is this what you guys wanted from me? You guys are affecting everybody in my life right now. Like, I am taking accountability. Like, please, enough. I'm going to apologize to the man that grabbed my. I don't even care what the guy did to me. At least let's be honest. I'm apologizing to you, please. So you accept my apology and then what? But you know what the guy did. He's not even here today. But why? I know, but you know what the guy did to me. So please, at least be real. I'm the farthest thing from.
Look at what I just saw. They said I maybe she was the one who typed. He said, I can't believe I had to go through this. The internet is the devil. No, 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 no. The internet is not the devil. The internet help to project your devilish character. Let's put it that way. It is better not to commit a crime. Sorry, cannot fix broken glasses. Sorry, cannot repair a wound. Even if the wound heals, the scars will still be there. So that is why you don't, at first, you think about the outcome, the consequences before, the effect before the cause. So this is why you should never think of, starting a fire that you cannot control. And I mentioned earlier that your mouth is actually where your character begins, because you are what you say. Your name is right here. What is your name? My name is da 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 da. Flojo. Now, the Flojo has now become the racist Karen. And she'll say, oh, after all, she grab your whatever. That's a lie. I don't buy that.
Possible. I told you you're a good-looking guy with green eyes. Do you think I have anything?
Good-looking
All my
guy with
partners
green
are
eyes after
Hispanic.
Rachel
It means
Slow.
Everything. Can you at least admit what the guy did to me, please? Can you admit what the guy did?
The license plate is 255.
Can you admit what the guy did, please? At least that. Just admit what the guy did, please.
Wow, I like this guy's action. I told you earlier that this doesn't seem like a projected, a scripted skit, but this is real. This is how human beings can be real. Look, they said, karma is naked. Anywhere you go, karma is visible. Now, when she acted, she was trying to, I'm rich, you're poor, I'm this. Now, the rich lady, supposedly or allegedly, is coming back to say, you're a very good guy with the green eyes. It's just that you have not bleached it to purple. We are going to make it brown or whatever. Look, this guy played a very crucial role now. Like, who do you think you are? I don't have time for you. The guy faces his job right now. Hey, let me do my job. You can, wait behind, stay somewhere. And she kept pressing on. Admit it. Admit that what the guy said, what the guy did. No admission here. Or admittance. No, we don't buy that.
Just admit it, please. Please, they're going to show the cameras. You guys are going to look crazy.
But something still isn't adding up, because sure, Florence is apologizing, but she's also doubling down on her claim that one of the valet guys grabbed her ass. And she's not just insisting, she's begging one of them on camera to admit that she was sexually assaulted.
See?
It's pretty clear what's going on here. She knows the CCTV footage will expose her, so she's trying to force a confession. That way, when the footage drops, she can at least point to the valet's admission as some kind of defense.
That's right.
Now, we've got two separate issues on our hands: racial abuse and a serious accusation of sexual assault. They're not mutually exclusive, but somehow Florence wants one to exist without the other. And let's not forget, she's doing all this while claiming she's definitely not racist. Indeed, Florence is not racist. She is much more than that. Much worse. And don't take my word for it. Check out these comments and messages from people who've had their own run-ins with MsFloJo. I had a run-in with this woman a few months ago at my gym. She said a bunch of homophobic and racist stuff to me. So this doesn't surprise me at all. This is just who she is. Have seen her do the same at my gym. It was insane. She tried to fight me and the valet at BLVD in Sherman Oaks. She is an angry, miserable, and disgusting human. Yep, looks like the lady who assaulted me at the Erewhon parking lot for wearing my keffiyeh on May 13th, 2024. She also had a lawsuit that she made claiming she was
which she lost
at the W Hotel, which she lost.
Ooh.
Even TikTok user at TizzyENT wasn't having any of it.
I think she wants us to.
See that? Your character is your name. Keep it real. Anywhere you go, whatever you do, people will talk about you more than you can. Your character is like an aroma. An aroma could be good, it can become a bad odor. So your character should not be disgusting to people. Treat people fairly. The golden rule is treat them how you would love to be treated. Not threatening them and you deserve to be treated. No. If you give somebody a threat, you should always also get back threat. Now, look at several comments on social media. So that means everybody had perceived her character. I am not here to judge. I am only raising an opinion that you should build your character to build your credibility. Somebody can condemn you if your character is in the line of condemnation, and somebody can commend you, and the recommendation will go a long way. It will open good doors. Let me check this out.
To believe that she's the furthest thing from racist, and not to split hairs, but if we're talking degrees of not racist, the furthest thing, like the farthest out, doesn't ever use a slur. Ever. That would be the furthest. Not saying you're a full-blown racist like 24/7, but let's find some middle ground here.
Anyway, an update surfaced that Florence has been banned from valet service locations, and the police showed up during her dramatic apology tour. Probably someone called them this time, and they are now aware of the situation.
Here's an update from a reliable source. It says she has been banned from the location they service and potentially the restaurant as well. Apparently, the police showed up during her little apology tour and are very much aware of the situation. This is what's happened since.
With the police now involved, everyone was hoping the truth would finally come out, but before it even got to that point, Florence decided, you know what, I'm just gonna come clean. So she was granted a live interview with an Instagram user who had been reporting the case since the beginning at Mr. Checkpoint.
I want to actually start with the first thing. There was like an allegation made of a
I made a fucking mistake. Like, farthest thing since like, is this everybody in my life right now? No, but you know what the guy did to me.
right?
Correct.
Can we just be clear right from the beginning? Did that happen?
Yeah, so it did not happen. What happened was I was in the car and my girlfriend called me and she's like, what do you happen? And she's like, I don't know, just say something that bad happened that you had to do that.
Oh.
Quick and erased it. And I guess the internet picked it up. It was like awful because I didn't realize, like I said, if God forbid somebody would have called me, I would have told them that never occurred, but how it could affect somebody. Something did occur, but it was never a reason for me to go as crazy as I went.
Following the interview, she made a few story posts openly admitting that no one grabbed her posterior and that she lied to save face. I love Mexicans and all people of colors and religion. I did what I could today and to apologize to the two men that did nothing to me. I am in a calm state of mind and I know I'm the farthest thing to a just a spoiled brat with a dirty mouth. And that's the realest I can be. Sorry, everyone. And again, in another entirely different interview, Florence was asked point blank if any of the valets her, and she said no.
The guy touch you or did he not touch you?
The guy did not touch me.
So why did you say that?
Because I was frantic and I didn't know what to do because of the fact that I did something so.
So yes, we now have the truth. There was no assault. She lied, and now she's taking full accountability for her actions. Mind you, accountability, not consequences. Because another Instagram user who hosted the second episode of the interview called this out directly, and she was too astounded to deny it.
I never ever meant anything I said. I never meant one word I said. I
She never meant anything and everything she said. So when she said she was rich, that means she was poor. Or what am I hearing now? You never meant everything you said, but you said somebody grabbed your posterior, and because you thought that the camera would, deface you, you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna get myself spooked now. But here is my advice, everybody. Anytime you want to drive, anytime you please let it is better to have your clear witness with you, which is your camera, especially drivers. Your safety comes first. Put camera in your car. Your dash camera needs to be active. Despite your phone camera, anything can happen. Look at what she just said. What if the police was at the at the point of that the argument or the claim, and they had to take those guys into custody? So those guys would have just been in police custody, serving, I mean, for what? For no reason, for what they did not do. Always be ready to, activate your camera. That is your first witness, because human being can deny. They can say, oh, I didn't see anything, but your camera will see everything. If you are at fault, your camera would see you. Your camera is the justice system. It is the greatest justice system. If you're wrong, it will show. If you're right, except you try to edit something. So get yourself a camera. Whatever way. I mean, you can get a dash camera that will record you front and back. Most especially, this situation, most especially like Uber drivers that get ride-share drivers, Uber, Lyft, Postmate, ride-share. Make sure you put your cameras on. You need it. Not only for something like this, even for accident. You have to protect yourself. You don't want to talk. How will I put it? Let me say. You don't have to go back and forth. Just bring your camera will show everything. Your camera is your evidence. It's your number one proof, unedited. The one that will record both audio and video. Because this lady knew that there were cameras all over. So she had to come back and be like, let me reshape what I said. I never meant everything I said. That's wrong. That's wrong, Miss Karen.
I don't know how else to convince anybody. I would, if I could chop off my arm and convince somebody. I would.
Thank you. Okay, let me just. I want to thank you for saying that. Now let me.
It's so frustrating.
I want to highlight what you just said.
No problem.
If
no
I could
problem.
cut my arm off to convince you, I would, because what that means is I'll do anything if I could just get you to believe me, because this is about you. This is about you being, yes,
No,
it is.
it's
Yes,
not.
it is.
Oh.
It's about you being believed. It's about
I know what you're doing to me, and it's fine.
People that
It's
you
fine.
attack with blatant. You understand what's happening in this country right now? There are mass deportations happening by ICE across this country, and the way that those mass deportations have been justified is through the exact same rhetoric that you used in that video that we all saw. So I refuse to accept that it came from a place of ignorance, because you are very specific in your language. You use the same language that's been used to justify mothers and fathers being ripped away from their children, people being taken out of their workplace, wives being enslaved.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. They say that Jews kill Arabs and Hamas. That's how it all came about. They say different things. They say other people kill other countries. I said, you guys are killers and rapists. What do they say about every country that goes to war?
Thank you. There's
I know that. I'm sorry. I've never in my.
This lady is a pathological liar, or how do they? Hey, you guys that know how to speak English, please come. I need a very big vocabulary. Pathological liar or what? No, path is like one side. pathological. All right. Let's do it this way. A very big, no, big is extensive liar. Her lying can win world record. Yes, it can win a world record. GBR, Guinness Book, record. Wow. She switched from you grabbed my posterior, you touched my private, to admit it, just admit it, please admit it, just please admit it, I beg you admit it. Now, I love all Mexican people, all color, but you know the tension now. The tension in the US, in America now, there is a mass deportation going on. This guy just hit the nail on the head, right on the spot.
My life ever seen that in my entire life.
But you just coincidentally use the same language?
Yes, because that's what people call people when they're at work.
I would believe you if you were coming from a place of honesty, but
I'm only coming from a place of honesty.
Jeez. In the middle of these exposés, Florence made her Instagram account private and locked her comment section to prevent further damage to her personal brand and business. But at this point, the damage was already done. And in a last-ditch effort to save what's left of the brand, her management team fired her and also stripped her of all of her shares in the company. Check the statement out here, released by the company. We at KOKO NUGGZ do not tolerate racism. The statements made by Florence go against our policies and beliefs as a company and are not acceptable. We have cut all ties with her, and she has relinquished all shares within the company. Here's her letter of termination.
You see the letter of termination? Your action, your character can either open doors or shut the doors for life. You see what I just mentioned? I have not even seen this coming. I didn't see it. So, because of the racial slur, because she failed to realize that everybody deserves to be treated equally with dignity. Look at what she ended up, with. This is why you should never treat anybody like a rag or a dirty dog. Guess what? Even the ones they call slaves were born by people, were born by somebody, by parents. So nobody is a slave. You only forced me into my unwillingness. So this is why you need to look at it from the other side of the mirror, that the consequence might be heavier than the action.
I'm just going to leave it on the screen for a few seconds for those who would like to read it.
I am writing to
notify. And here's a continuation of the company's statement.
Apology.
We apologize for any pain and suffering caused by your actions. KOKO NUGGZ is owned by a diverse group of individuals, including Latin Americans, Asian Americans, African Americans, and Caucasians, some of which are first-generation immigrants. We stand with and support